Hi, I'm Bonnie, and I'm the Executive Director for Alpha Mid-Atlantic, and I'm here today with my friend Nancy, and we're just going to talk a little bit about her experience on the Alpha course. So, Nancy, how did you find your first Alpha course, and would you have considered yourself to have been a Christian at that time?
Well, I grew up going to church for most of my life, and when my children got older and I was getting older, I think I went through a period where I was searching. I was feeling this void in my life. I wasn't really sure why. I was looking for direction, kind of just felt like something was missing. And I had a friend who happened to be a pastor of a church. And he must have been the right time, because he said that he was having these Bible studies, and he asked if I might be interested in trying it out. So I started attending Bible studies. I guess it was for a couple of months, and then I ran into you, and I was telling you that I had been attending these Bible studies, and you had mentioned that you were going to do this Alpha course at your house, which I had never heard of Alpha, so I wasn't familiar with it at all. And so at that time I started attending Alpha. So I would say, no, I was probably not a Christian. I mean, looking back, I think my eyes were being opened. I think, God was starting to work, but there was so much I didn't understand.
And what was your experience like on that first Alpha?
Oh my gosh, it was really, it was wonderful. It was just, it was so inviting. Nicky Gumbel was so wonderful to listen to. He's just such a gentle spirit. And just, I guess what was really surprising to me, or what was so appealing, is just hearing about how much God loved us. And I really was not, at the time, I was attending these Bible studies, and it was a real contrast.
To what you were hearing there.
Exactly. A lot about sin and judgment, and of course, we are sinners, but we were hearing about judgment and about, it was just a very kind of negative message, as opposed to God's forgiveness and His love for us, and God's grace. And so it was all this, it was really opening my eyes to, wow, this is really wonderful. Like, okay, I like this.
That's great. So then, when did you do your next Alpha class, and how did that happen? Yeah,
well, let's see. I ended up, I just really loved this first Alpha class, and I had
So you
continued
still at the other
attending.
church?
Yeah, I continued to attend, and it ended up being a very unhealthy place to be. So by God's grace, only by His grace, did He kind of remove me from that place after a number of years. And I guess at that time, right after that, you invited me to come to Good Sam, and so I started attending services there. And right after I started attending, like a month later, I was invited to try the Alpha course again, and I thought, well, that's great. So my husband and I actually did the Alpha course together.
That's great, yeah.
And wow, I mean, it was, again, just a wonderful experience. It was welcoming. I mean, people were so welcoming, and I didn't really know a lot of people at that time yet.
And you were in a pretty tender place too, after coming out of this other church that was very oppressive.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, I was. And so I think the gentle approach and the very welcoming and come as you are, no expectations, I think that really was important for me. And I just came in receiving, because I was in a real kind of tender spot.
Wow.
So it was, again, it was incredible. And it was great for my husband and I to do it together.
That's so great. Yeah. And so then what difference has Jesus made in your life, Nance?
I mean, just a total 360. I think about how my life was before I knew Jesus, before I knew who God was and His love for us. And my life now is just, we all have our hard days and our, things that go on, but I just always, I know that He's always with us. He's always, with me. And His, just knowing that I'm a daughter of the King, knowing I'm a child of God, it just, and being able to share His love inside of us that he gives us
Yeah.
with others. It's just a beautiful thing. I mean, all the things that I've received through people that, you know, have strong faith in God, all the things that they've shared with me.
And are you involved
been
in
able
church
to-
now?
Oh gosh, yeah. And now it's so great. You know, I become a worship leader. I'm a worship leader once a month. We do, we have a group that at Good Sam, and it's just a wonderful thing. So it's brought me out into a whole nother
wonderful.
world
That's so great.
of people that we can be in fellowship with,
That's
and
so
that we can
great.
share our experiences with each
That's
other.
so great.
So.
Well, thanks, Nancy, for sharing your
You're
Alpha
welcome.
story. And if you haven't yet, you should try Alpha because it's wonderful. So
Yes.
thanks for listening. Hope to see you next time.